Let's go. Here we are. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 now of Storia Stories.
Yeah.
I almost tongue twisted myself. We are just talking about the tongue twister. And we have another guest with us. So allow me to do the introduction. Ming Johanson is a strategic business coach, marketing and tech entrepreneur, and founder of Marketing Jumpstart. She's widely known as the mother of unicorns. With over 20 years in tech and 15 years running her own agency, she helps businesses navigate the messy middle of growth where marketing systems and identity collide. Ming is known for simplifying complexity, blending brand psychology, practical strategy, and emerging tech like AI to help business owners take control of their marketing and scale with clarity. A regular speaker and media commentator, she's passionate about turning complex ideas into real-world insights that actually work. Welcome, Ming.
Hi. Hey, gang.
Hey.
And of course, James and myself.
The
We're
usual
back.
suspects.
We're back.
Number four. We're
I'm
still here.
I love it.
I'm so impressed with the commitment. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud
Me
of
too.
you both.
Hey, I've got to do something with the last Tuesday of every month,
Well,
whenever this goes. Yeah, this will go out today.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's the last Tuesday of the month. Done.
100%. So this episode we're going to talk about, and mainly because we got Ming, who obviously this is a real specialty area for her and lots of experience and examples. So the overarching topic that we're going to touch on today is validating your product idea before you start development and the processes around that. So in other words, prototyping.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into it. Ming, as a high level overarching, before we get stuck into the nitty gritty, what do we mean by validating a product idea and why is it important?
It's probably a step before prototyping, but arguably vibe coding is shifting that a little bit. Effectively, what you're trying to do is you're trying to identify that you have a real problem that is worthy of spending time, investing money in, and developing it, that people are willing to pay you to solve. There's a big piece in terms of commercialization around an idea, and there's 1,000 idea guys, right? So there's 1,000 idea guys that go, I want 80% ownership of this idea, and they'll go hurtling through the internet. And we see it a lot at Startup Weekend, where people will come with an idea, they've convinced themselves so strongly that they're willing to mortgage their own home for this idea, and they get into a lot of trouble because they don't validate, or they do something that we call lead the witness, Your Honor, where they will ask questions that will create a confirmation bias that their idea is the best thing ever.
Nice. What is Startup Weekend?
So Startup Weekend is a 54-hour pressure cooker where people all over the world go and meet a bunch of strangers and create teams and then try to validate an app idea over the course of that weekend. So normally they'll go out, they'll create a pitch deck, they'll go out and interview potential customers, they'll just stop people at the bus stop or the train station and ask them lots of questions to see if their idea is worthy of spending time on and investing on. It's probably one of the greatest events you could ever go to because it will save you about 6 months of your life. You'll spend 54 hours there, as opposed to, and this is my own story, my own business. When I started my business, I was not a marketing business. I was actually a tech training company. I came freshly out of Telstra as a manager in Telstra for my sins. And I started my own business thinking everybody needed to learn how to use the technology that they bought from the Telstra shop because I had undeniable proof that they were coming back into my shop to ask me how to use it. And the problem with that evidence was they weren't going anywhere else. They certainly weren't Googling it. And they
Yeah.
certainly weren't looking for it on in the Yellow Pages way back when the Yellow Pages was a thing. Oh, that shows my age. So I went 6 months. I think it took me 3 months, and I got my very first customer. I spent $3,000 to get that very first customer. That very first customer spent $170. So it was not a great return on investment. I did not validate my business idea at all. And I ended up pivoting to a social media manager and, teaching people how to use social media. Because we had met a bunch of people who were just like, I don't know, this social media thing. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to have a conversation on the internet. Somehow the internet changes the way that we speak. And I ended
Some ways it does.
Yeah, look, I ended up teaching a group of wedding celebrants. That was really how we got our start. They were like, you've got 164 followers on Facebook. How did you do that? Which I still think is very amusing. So they were our first clients, and I've still got clients from there today that we still service and still support. So I went to a startup weekend. I think somebody snuck me into a startup weekend mainly to steal my resources. I was like, what's this thing? And I remember meeting Marcus Holmes, and he was very shouty about validation. And I think I was pretty much hooked from there, from Startup Weekend.
And you started making grown men cry, and that just the
Yeah,
addiction began.
So like 10 years fast forward, I mentor at Startup Weekend. I judge for Siri, which is an organization that has a whole bunch of startup ecosystem training and education as well. And I'm the judge on the panel for them quite a bit. And so I'm very much committed to the idea that you need to make sure you find your market and validate that you're actually solving the right problem. And quite often I'll ask people what problem they think I solve in Marketing Jumpstart. So I ask you, Jordan, what problem do you think I solve in Marketing Jumpstart? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you did. I'm like reading my Word doc, and you just hit me with a question. Well, like based on what I know, from what you've told me, is when people come to you, they want to know, like, get involved in obviously marketing. They want help with that.
Yeah.
And so you're helping them with that problem. But from our brief discussions, sometimes it's not necessarily helping them with the marketing, but it's helping them with their business idea and their problem, and if it's even worth pursuing.
Yeah. So I'll give you what's called the Getty pitch. This is the Getty pitch version of my business. You know that problem where you go on social media with the intention of being very productive and doing all of your marketing for your business? Yeah, you know that problem?
Yep.
But then 3 hours later and 72 cat videos, and you've achieved nothing. I solved that problem.
Nice.
Which is a problem of time. So it's not marketing, it's not, getting conversion, it's a problem of time. People don't have the time to learn it, they don't have the time to do it, and they don't have the resources to be able to do the marketing to a level that's satisfactory for themselves.
Yeah.
So the biggest problem we solve is actually around time.
And probably priorities, right? They kind of go hand in hand. Like you got to prioritize certain things.
Well, sometimes that's not rational as well. Like I think a lot of, especially small business owners, put themselves under an enormous amount of pressure to do it all. You've got to do it all because you're the business owner. You get to choose your own hours, but nobody tells you get to choose them all. You'll choose all of the hours, especially when you're starting your business. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're productive. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually going to achieve the thing you want to achieve in your business, right? So the example that I gave you was the Getty pitch. So the Getty pitch is, that problem when, insert problem, I solve that problem. How I solve that problem is solution. Right?
Nice.
So that's a simple pitch that people will typically do in the startup ecosystem. It's the elevator pitch from, you're meeting with, the CEO of Virgin, and he's got like buckets of money just pouring out of his pockets, and you're like, well, you got 60
seconds to listen. Yeah.
60 seconds from the lift in the top floor going to the bottom floor to pitch them. So if you do not have a clear problem statement, you do not have a business. And you do not have an app. What you have is an app with 1,000 features.
I also statement needs to mean something too.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I also like, your own example that you gave before, like with your own business idea, because you had the experience and the knowledge that there was this problem and pain point. But I guess this is like the crux of what we're talking about in this episode is like the validation, but not necessarily like to validate that it is a pain point because you knew that it was, but is someone going to pay for that?
Yeah.
So
the answer is a resounding no. They'll ask their cousin, their children, their grandchildren, and then they'll go back to the Telstra shop, maybe.
So when we're talking validation, we're not just talking about a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like that a problem exists. We're
Because there's
also
so many
talking
problems.
about people will pay for it.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a particular app that has come up at least 7 startup weekends that I have attended. And that is financial literacy. James was there for one of them. He was there for one of them.
Those are 2 of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we have seen it again and again and again and again and again and again. And over the course of the weekend, and it's usually somebody who works in finance or is an accountant or, has, again, that unconscious bias of his own industry, convinced that he can sell this to all of his clients. And by the end of the weekend, usually by the middle of the weekend, I'm making them cry, or they're yelling, or they're getting very shouty at me. And it's because they can't find their customer. They can't find somebody.
In a nutshell, what is the idea?
So the idea is, or the problem is that people's financial literacy is bad, is not great. We don't have a great financial literacy in Australia. And people want the knowledge so that they can feel secure in managing their money and understanding what their money does and how it comes in and all of that, how to pay taxes, all of that sort of stuff. And the problem with that is nobody is willing to pay for it.
The irony.
The irony, right? We all want to learn more about financial literacy, but there's not enough of a market to get it off the ground. I think the last one that we watched, they identified that they wanted it for their kids.
Okay.
And that potentially had a market in terms of, well, if they want their kids to be more financially literate than they are, how much are they willing to pay to ensure that happens?
Yeah. Nice.
Right.
Yeah. And fundamentally, the idea is not bad. Like, it's not a bad idea at its core level. The problem is that people don't necessarily care, right? Yeah. It's like, so, I remember being in that room with the last one that we spoke to, and they were trying to convince me about how I am the target audience. I have someone else in my sphere of trust that handles my finance, right?
Yeah.
I'm not your target audience. I don't care. I accept.
I'm not the guy.
Yeah, I accept that I don't understand finance very well, but I have people that I trust that manage it for me. So, and they were trying to convince me. They was going, hey, you should be learning more. You should be learning. Why? Why should I learn more? I have someone for that, and they're far better at it than I could be. I could spend the next 12, 24 months trying to figure this stuff out and go through a terrible amount of pain trying to understand it, or I could just rely on someone knowledgeable.
Yeah. I already don't have time. Don't have time. Like, if you were going to teach me this stuff, teach it to me in school. Teach it in a place where I was forced to care, right? As opposed to now.
It's good though, like, because I think if anyone takes anything away already, like even if we ended the podcast right now, it's like you can have a pain point, which is important, but are people going to pay for it? Do they have time? Is it going to solve their problem?
That's the big thing. Time. Like I think and I don't know if you would agree with me, Ming, but I found that all of those product ideas, if they required the user to spend more than what they deem a nominal amount of time, it failed immediately. Like,
well, it's the time value exchange, right?
Yeah.
So if I invest time in this, how much value am I going to get in return? Already people are in their heads going, well, I earn $35 an hour, or some people earn like $275 an hour. Why would I do this if I'm not going to get that financial return from doing that? How is it going to save me? How's it going to help me? How's it going to make my life easier? With Uber, let's give the Uber as an example. Uber isn't a taxi business, it's a transaction business. It saves time on the transaction. You get in the car, you walk out the car, you're done.
It's already paid for. Yeah.
It's already paid for. I don't need to think about it. I don't need to find the correct change. So Uber's problem that it solves is the transaction piece of the taxi service and taxi industry.
Yeah, very true. So James, from Storia's point of view, I'm sure you've got plenty of experience and examples of clients coming to Storia and wanting something built, and the difference that you've seen between when they have validated their idea versus when they haven't.
Yep. Yes. It's hard to find a starting point for this because
I laugh because you usually send them to me.
Yes.
If they haven't validated their idea.
Yeah, Ming is great for being that. I would normally I would say the term sounding board, but it's not true with Ming. She's more like a jackhammer.
The mean mum, the mean auntie.
Yeah, but that's the reality. Like when a lot of people, I get asked, I'm not kidding, several times a week about, hey, I have an idea for an app, and there's one person that we are not working with who has had an app idea, and I won't go into any names, but this particular app idea, they said, hey, I've got an app idea for an app and I want to build it. And I was like, okay, no, have you done this? So my normal question is, okay, have you spoken to someone in marketing? Have you spoken to someone in finance? Have you spoken to someone in legal? I'm the last person in the list.
Yeah.
Whenever you're developing a product, the developer, the guy who actually, or the engineer, or whoever is making it is the last person you speak to. You got to speak to someone in marketing, sales, legal,
but it's
or
worth
finance.
pointing out that there are other developers out there that would 100% take people for a ride.
Oh, I 100% agree, and it's like we'll talk about them. I'll get to them later because
in a minute.
I have a particular bone to pick with those people. As we know, Ming, we've worked together
100%.
on one particular product that had a very unfortunate time. But so this particular person, so I asked them the question, have you spoken to these people first? And they said no. And I was like, okay, I am not. You need to talk to them before you come and talk to me. Get all the documentation and prove, essentially prove that you are legit in your idea. And that's what they need to do, because if they are 100% behind their idea and they truly believe it is going to work, they will go to those people. They will go and speak to a marketer, a person in sales, a legal team, whoever, to back up their idea and go, yes, this is legit. I will do it. They will put in the work. So that's the first thing, right? And that's why Ming works really well in that regard, because she is very much she will beat them down to the point where they will go, they'll be bloody and beaten on the ground. They'll go, I can do this all day, or they will give up, right? If you can stand up after
I don't literally beat them up, Jordan.
Just mentally,
just
emotionally.
verbally, verbally and emotionally.
If they could get up after that session and go, yes, I still believe this idea is legit, then I go, okay, I think, you may have something. Maybe your idea is not 100% perfect, but I think you've got the tenacity to follow it through. And that's a part of it. You need to have the determination. But this particular person didn't want to do that, right? 100%. They're like, no, I don't need to do any of that. I know my idea is legitimate and it's going to work. So they've gone off and
they're the worst.
Oh, they're the worst.
Whoa.
And they've gone off and vibe coded them. Like, hey, man, all to you.
Do you.
Yep.
You do you, boo.
All the power. I'll wash my hands of this. And it wasn't, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, they came back to me and they were saying, I'm having lots of problems with my AI developed system.
Shocker.
And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's cool. I understand that. Are you still following through? And they're asking me, yeah, would you be willing to come on as a partner to help me develop? And I said, have you spoken to those people that I mentioned before? They said, no, I haven't. I said, well, until you've spoken to those people, I am not interested. I have been that guy. I have gone, someone's come to me with an idea with no background or no fundamentals and no foundation. And it sounded like a good idea. I'm like, yeah, man, I will build that for you. But then when push comes to shove, they'll go, oh, we don't want to spend the money to market it or spend the money to sell it. It's like, well, I've wasted all this time building a prototype for you, but you won't even take the concept to other people who would be willing to validate it.
I knew a few people who were like, I'm building an app, and 3 years later they're still building an app and it hasn't been done. Vibe code is certainly speeding that up just a scooch. But the other thing is because they haven't done the validation piece, they end up with 150 features.
Yes, and it's so complicated.
All duct taped together because they actually haven't refined what the core problem is. Instead, they've gone to their market and gone, what feature do you want? Which we call the feature death spiral. Right?
Yes.
This is how people can spend $500,000 on app development because it needs feature X and it needs feature Y. Well, if you're clear on what problem you're solving, it only needs one function.
Yeah.
And if it's real good at that function, it doesn't even have to be pretty. It actually doesn't even have to be pretty. Marketing doesn't even have to be great. If it is solving a core function where people have a lot of fucking pain, they will pay for it.
Yeah, 100%. A great example of that is Tinder. I know people get a little bit worked up about it, but it is actually a really fantastic concept around how a product should be developed. They knew it does one thing really, really easily. You swipe left, you swipe right based on your preferences of a partner. That's it. That is it. And some people utilize it for whatever naughtiness that they may require.
My love story is from Tinder. My partner and I met on Tinder. It worked.
Yeah, it does. It's just there for one thing. But you sign up for an account, you swipe left, you swipe right, and your preferences are matched based on your potential matches are based on your preferences.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all it is. It has a paid feature.
Just swipe right on everyone.
Yeah, some people do. I'm sure there's a lonely person out there who's like, I'll take anyone. Not that I shouldn't say that. That's a bit cruel. But that's all it is. It's just for swiping left and swiping right. It is a fantastic example of how a product should be developed. And they validated their idea. They went through the full process. The guys who developed it, they got legal teams involved. They got marketing teams. They have sales teams. And now it's at a point where it sells itself. Like the whole Tinder process worked brilliantly. Uber is an example of a product that struggled for a very long time before it found success because the guy who started it didn't actually validate his idea properly. And it wasn't until he started validating in New York that he had to tweak it a bit and it started working, right? Yeah. And it started working. And that's where it's came in. It was the whole transaction thing. That's simplifying the transaction process.
But he went the long, expensive way, right?
Yes.
Like, this is the thing is.
Exactly.
Which a lot of people obviously don't have the luxury of doing, right? And that could be where it all ends before it even starts.
Yeah.
No. So that's why anyone who comes to me was like, oh, I have an app idea. That's like, you shouldn't be you shouldn't say that to your developer. You should be saying it to your marketing person. I have an idea for an app.
Or,
Your marketing person
BD, business development,
or a
talk to a
BD.
business development person, talk to somebody who has expertise in the market as well. But even then, like, enthusiasm sells, right? You can be as enthusiastic as you want to be, and most people are, about their app idea because they're very convinced that it will solve a big problem. And the issue with that is your enthusiasm is selling that. The moment you stop being enthusiastic, it falls apart. And the thing is it's not making you money. It's not commercial. It's not commercially viable just because you're a hype guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So for those watching, they're like, cool, I get it. You've made a lot of sense and fair comments. I've got an idea, and after listening to this, I want to go down the validation process or pipeline, which they may not have initially considered doing. So where are they starting? What is in the pipeline? What sort of steps?
So good questions, asking good questions, and finding 50 to 100 people, asking 50 to 100 people without pitching, without selling it. So what you're doing is you're going, what is the assumption? What am I assuming I'm solving? All right. And you go to that assumption and go, all right, well, I'm assuming that everybody needs a plan, let's say just out of nowhere, a planner app for planning my holiday, right? I want to go on a holiday. I'm terrible at organizing holidays. The person who usually organizes holidays is sick or, gone somewhere else without me, because I'm terrible at organizing holidays. All right, so people have this pain around organizing holidays. How am I going to solve that problem? I'm going to ask a question about, tell me the last time you organized a holiday. What happened? There's two things that you're going to achieve by asking the question that way. You're going to get from your potential customer, the marketing language around the problem.
Yep.
Right? The second thing you're going to get is you're going to get a story. So you're going to get a story about what's going on. Whereas if you said, do you struggle with organizing holidays? Yes, no. You've learned nothing.
Yeah.
Right? You've learned absolutely nothing from your audience. What you've done instead is you've created a false validation loop, because some people go, oh yeah, I fucking hate organizing holidays. I can't stand it. Oh yeah, I love organizing holidays. And you don't actually have any solid information about what happened. Because what you're looking for in that organizing of the holiday, and I'm just using that as an example, is at what point does it break down the most? At what point is there the highest level of tension and pain? Is it the transaction and getting everybody to put their money in for the holiday? Is it getting a consensus on the accommodation? Is it a consensus on the activities that we're going to do? Like, what is the actual problem that you're solving in that whole series of transactions? Is it the planes? How are you going to manage the plane flights if all the flights are cancelled? What's going to happen then? Right? So you've got all of these transactional interactions and engagements. How are you going to reduce that down so that you're getting your time back? Right? So asking good questions is sort of paramount in that validation process. Don't ask closed questions. So a closed question is when the answer is yes or no.
Yeah.
Right? A closed question is, I've asked you a question and I've given you a menu of 5 options of the answers that I've assumed you're going to say.
Yeah.
And not give them the opportunity to actually tell their story.
Nice. And people love talking about their pain too, so give them
They
a
do.
question that they will
Truly,
freely
they do.
elaborate on.
100%. There's a really great case study. I'll find a link to it. And it talks about the lean canvas model. So the lean canvas model is a 1-page business plan, and it's about finding out what are your assumptions, who are your audience, who are you targeting, what's the language, how are you going to do this, what's the commercialization model. In the lean canvas, in this particular case study, this guy was like, environmentally friendly scooters. I'm going to sell environmentally friendly scooters because people give a shit about the environment. And what he did was he set up a fake landing page for a Vespa. It's a scooter, same mode of transport.
Yep.
And it basically was an offer for people to hire a scooter for $200. So he had a list of people to contact. So he called every single one of them. And one of the cases that he said was, I just want to drink my skinny lattes, wear a skinny tie, and ride on a Vespa. Couldn't give a shit about the environment. Do you care? Like, interviewed every single one of them. Do you care about the environment? No, not really. So immediately he's going, oh, my assumption on the market was that people care about the environment.
Yeah.
We've got the same thing going on with electric cars right now, right? Like, so the electric car industry is not increasing because of the environment. It's increasing because of the cost of petrol. Like,
yeah.
That, and some people have really weird tastes and they bought a Cybertruck.
What, the 3 people? 3
Hey,
people
I saw one out on the road the other day. I was like,
really?
what? It's weird in real life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So they've asked the questions, they've got the feedback.
Yeah. So now it's learning, all right? So you've gotten all these answers and you've collated all these answers. What's the common thing? What's the common thread in all of those answers? You've interviewed 50 to 100 people. They've all gone, here is the problem, right? It's not about features. It's not about, how pretty it looks or anything like that. Those things are nice to have. At the core of it, if you have a problem that's really meaty, that's really, really delicious, people go, yeah, I want that problem solved. I want my trip to be organized, for it to analyze all of my social media and just know where I want to go.
Wouldn't that be a dream?
That'd be a great app.
ID for an app.
Yeah. 1-day trip, 3-day trip, 7-day trip. Right.
10% to Ming, whoever
Yeah.
that up.
Anybody that can be bothered. I can't be bothered. I'm too tired. I got 1,000 other ideas if you want them.
Where are people going to find 50 to 100 people? What's your recommendation there?
Go to your CBD.
Street. Yeah, go to your city. Like just have a survey thing and just get people to fill out a survey.
Have a couple of
Nice.
Complete. Try for complete strangers. Don't ask your mum.
No one knows you.
Yeah, there's a pretty great book called The Mum Test, MOM, and that talks about validation. And the thing is when you go and talk to your mum will go, oh, that's nice, dear, and she'll humour you, and then she'll change the subject. She wants to be supportive, but she doesn't want to disappoint you, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same with your friends. Your friends are like, oh, yeah, that's a really cool idea, man. Awesome. Yeah, I'd buy that. They're lying.
Well, we were talking before, weren't we, before we hit record, about AI, and it's like it's a hype fan. It's very encouraging. Very rarely will it say, don't do that.
Yeah, the greatest sycophantic hype guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how bad your idea is. It will tell you it's good and it has potential.
Well, even if you train it, even if you train your AI to not be a sycophant, right? Like, even if you train your AI to say, no, I don't want you to just pander to me and say yes to everything. I want you to challenge me. Even then, on a long enough timeline, it will shift because it wants you to use it.
Yeah.
And the more that you use it, the more that it gets validation that it's being used. Yay! I'm fulfilling my purpose, my core needs. My core needs is you're still signed on and you're still paying a subscription fee.
100%.
Right? You need to talk to real humans because at the end of the day, they're your customer. And strangers. Facebook groups are great. Right?
Yeah. James, do you have anything to add on the like key processes that?
Well, I come from my part comes after that, right?
Yeah.
So you've validated your problem that people care about it. Now you've got to go, okay, how do I fix it? What's the step to fixing the actual problem? And now that's where I come in and help out. So you come to us, and if you have an idea and you validated that your idea, that your problem is real and that people care about that problem, and they're like, yes, it's actually something that burdens me, and I will pay money to have it fixed. Cool. And then you go, I have an idea around the solution. So the first step is let's talk to a developer and build a prototype, right? Because now you have to validate the solution, because you can have a good problem but a bad solution for it. And we've seen those. We've seen lots of those over the years. It's just bad execution. So you start off with a prototype and you adjust and you pivot. So you may go, okay, this problem requires an app to solve it. Maybe it requires an AI service. Maybe it's a combination of both, whatever. So you build an idea around the app. So you don't have to spend a tremendous amount of money on a prototype.
Well, it's an MVP. It's a minimum viable product.
Well, it's before that.
It's a skateboard.
It's before that. It's even before the MVP. Minimum viable product defines as something that you can deliver to your market, your 1%.
Yeah.
You don't go there yet. You just have a prototype. You validate that your prototype it will work, and that's where you can start to get focus groups. Like you can work that out. And you can and start to deal with your market from there directly, because now that you validated your problem, you validated your market. You know who's going to buy this stuff, and then you tweak it. So you bring it out to you show your prototype. You go, cool. Yeah, this looks all right. I don't like how it swipes. So let's go to Tinder. I don't like the left and right swipe. I want to go up and down because that feels more natural to me, or whatever. You tinker with the prototype, and then they go. You finalize it to a point, and you go, okay, cool. Now I'm going to actually deliver a product based on the prototype. So that's your MVP. That's your minimum viable product. That is, it solves the problem for the direct audience that you've spoken to, what we call the 1%, right?
Yeah.
So that is what you deliver.
Even if you have 0.2%, right? Like even if you have 0.2% of your audience converts, that's still validation.
Yeah, they've paid money. As long as they've paid money, that's the best validation you can get.
It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $500, right? So if they've paid any semblance of money, and like I don't love the fact that people launch apps that are free. You've launched this app, you spent all this money, you've put all of this cost into development, you've gone out and validated your audience. You've already done all of the work. If you've validated your audience and you've asked them, hey, do you want to know about this when this launches? And they go, yes. Well, cool. You've got a marketing list already. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Because technically people should be talking, like on the marketing side of my business, they should be talking to me last.
Yeah.
After the apps and all of that's done. But what's happening and has happened for 15 years is people come to me at the end with their poorly validated idea. They've already spent $500,000 on an app. They have $5,000 to $10,000 to spend on marketing. This is going to fix this. That is what they believe. It's a marketing problem. It's not the app. I've convinced myself my app's the best thing since sliced bread. It's not the app. It's the marketing. I can tell you it's not the marketing. And we won't take them on as a client. We've got an ethical stance on that because, one, I don't want to take on a client that's not going to succeed. Right?
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen? They're going to blame me.
It reflects poorly. Yeah.
Right? It's my fault. I get a bad Google review, like whatever it is. And they get mad because they spent money on it. Well, marketing was supposed to fix this. You're supposed to know what you're doing. I do know what I'm doing, but you've handed me a poorly validated app, and you've given me 5 customer avatars that you think want this desperately, but you've not interviewed a single one of them.
Yeah.
Right, and they're already 500,000 in. This one causes me a lot of pain, so much so that my team pick on me.
Let's hear it.
Because they think it's funny. It was effectively pitched to me as Uber for cash.
Oh.
Where, when you're traveling all over the world in strange countries and you don't know where the nearest ATM is, so you book a guy who has a little Vespa, and he delivers you cash.
An environmentally friendly Vespa?
An environmentally friendly Vespa, and he delivers cash direct. And his validation was, do you like to save money?
Right.
That was it. That was his validation. There isn't a single person on the planet that would have said no to that. Oh, no, I hate saving money. That's the worst. What the pits. Right? So when he pitched this, and there were 3 women in the room. All 3 women were absolutely fucking not. Why? Because safety.
Yeah.
Also, it's probably the first app that I would hack if I knew that there were a bunch of dudes on Vespas, environmentally friendly Vespas, all carrying cash.
It would be fantastic. Tracking location, hot dang.
Yeah.
Gold mine.
You mean I can track my crime? Amazing. So, and like that person had spent a small fortune on developing that app without doing a single stick of validation.
Yeah.
And I told them, it's like, marketing's not going to fix this. It's just going to make it fail faster.
Which maybe you needed.
What was the outcome?
Oh, no, it's not launched. It never launched.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my team started taking the piss and was like, have you heard of Uber dudes? Just dudes. They just turn up.
All right, so we've heard a really bad example. What about a really good example? Ming, let's start with you. What's like one that sticks out to you where someone has clearly validated before they've come to you? They've got a good problem, they've got a good solution, and it's actually worked.
I'll be honest, I can't really think of where it's happened. Certainly not in my circles. Most of the time it is a pressure point when people come to me and I go, this is not like traditional businesses, which we do a lot of marketing for. They're already validated because they have competitors. If you've got a competitor, that's a validation point in itself, right? That doesn't mean that they're doing any good. That doesn't mean that they're actually succeeding, because there's plenty of people who will just copy an app and do the same thing, and they still fail because they haven't got their own branding and they haven't got their own voice. James and I have had a couple of interesting ones where they've spent a fortune on development. They think it'll be a great app idea, and it might be, but they haven't got it to market, and they ran out of money before they even got to the marketing piece.
Yeah.
I should have reached out to Uber dudes.
Oh, good callback. Good callback, Jordan.
James, what about you? What's a good example?
You've probably got some good ones, yeah.
A success.
One. So this was in my early years as a developer. It was a couple of guys, very early affiliate marketing, right? So that's what this was. This was an early affiliate marketing entry. It was a very simple idea, that it was basically you buy a product through this platform, through this platform, you click on a product, it will take you to where you can buy it. And every time you buy through that link, you get a little bit of cash back, right? And you build up your wallet, and then you can use that wallet to buy free stuff. Simple, really super simple concept. These guys validated. They had gotten a group of about 200 people. It was a pair of dudes. Both of them were engineers. They validated through, like, yeah, it was close to a little bit less. There was like 190 something people that they spoke to. Majority women. Like, they very specifically selected women being a shopping platform. They got some men in there, but it was like 70% women. And they did that specifically based on the feedback from a marketing company that they were working with. So they validated it. We built them a prototype. They then validated the prototype. People were like, yeah, this is really cool. They picked some really strange colors. Like, it was like this really bright pink and bright yellow, and people loved it, like how loud it was. Built the full website, got the integration sorted out, and then launched it, and it just blew up. Like, it was super. I think they ended up selling a couple of years later for like $50 to $60 million.
Awesome.
And huge success, like massive success, all because they did the lead work. And it wasn't like that they spent a couple of months getting this survey. Like, they had literally spent over 12 months building and validating this idea. And it worked out brilliantly. And that was back when I worked on the prototype and the system. I was just a junior developer at that point. But yeah, it was really cool to see. And, you know, that's always an idea around the success. If you have a good idea, and that if you execute well, the sky's the limit. You know, you can walk away from it very, very, very wealthy. And even like affiliate marketing at that point, no one cared about. Like, everyone thought it was dumb. Like, they were like,
so silly.
Yeah, they thought it was stupid. Like, it was at that point, like, it was very early, just before the Facebook boom back in 2012. And like, so the internet, isn't what it was now. Like, it was a different kind of entity. And like, the affiliate marketing was just this baby in its baby form, and these guys just kind of leveraged it and had huge success from it. And I think, yeah, they sold it in like 2015 or 2016 and earned mega bucks from it. And then they both went off on their own, split the money, went off on their own, started other businesses, and they've just had continued success from there. But yeah, that's like, if you put in the work, and that's what, you know, it's the same with everything. You put in the work, but it's not stupid work, it's the right work. If you do the right things and follow the steps, you can find success in these areas.
So it's worth pointing out, when I say I don't really have anyone, that's in the app space, because I almost always inevitably talk people out of it. Because existing clients of ours will go, oh, I've got an app idea, what do you think? And it's like, why do you need to have an app when you can just add that onto your website? Why do you need to have an app when you could just already deliver that? Like, they're creating a barrier before they sell the thing. You know, and probably our greatest success would be a YouTube channel. And he's 75 years old. He was effectively starting again. He'd had some bad business dealings with the previous board, partners, who were quite unscrupulous and quite unethical. We'd come in, we'd done an audit for their website, found a very long list of problems. The person who'd come in to do the website had kiboshed 10 years worth of good SEO work and decimated their traffic, which was horrible. That was really heartbreaking, because, as well, you don't know what you don't know, right? So we kind of started working. We're still working with him, and we helped him develop a YouTube strategy. and he's made, I think, at last count, $60,000 in a year, which is awesome. He's like, where the hell did this money come from? Like, which was legendary. And then as we've gone through the process, because we do the product validation process with all of our clients, whether or not they're doing an app or not, right? And his was effectively a news website and a ratings website. And the original focus of the business before this actually wasn't the thing that was making him money, but he had convinced himself it was. And so through the whole process of discovery and working with him and sort of educating him on that validation piece, it's like this thing that you're fixating on that you think is the thing that makes you unique and different, nobody cares. It's actually the least amount of traffic is coming to your website because of this. And so that sort of created space for a pivot for him to go, oh, okay, this is the thing where the money's actually coming in, not that thing that I was fixating on, not that feature over here, feature X. And that happens a lot, where a lot of clients are like, oh, I want an app. And I'm like, why? Why do you want an app? Oh, I don't know. It just seems like a good idea.
Everyone's got one. Why not?
Everyone's got one. My mum's got an app. And even in our own business, like yesterday with my own team, we have a system and a tool that we pay for that we white label. I don't particularly love it. I don't particularly love this tool. I use it as an internal tool to validate our customers, but it's sold as a tool that will generate leads. And for the last 5 years of paying for this tool, not once has it ever generated a lead for me. So it doesn't actually deliver the thing that's on the box.
Yeah.
Right. And I was having a conversation with the team of going, well, I'm knowledgeable enough. I know the information enough that I could build my own AI agent. I have all of the resources and all the tool set. And I don't want it to be an app. I don't want it to be an external thing. It's an internal process that saves us a lot of time. So in the conversation with the team, it's like, well, I don't need this to be on our website. I don't need it to be front facing at all, actually. Because it doesn't solve a problem for my customers. My customers couldn't give a shit about this thing.
Yeah.
It solves a problem for me specifically.
It's, right? I think like an important point that got raised there is because we've kind of like gone down this road of if you go down you try to do the validation and it ends up not being the case and it's like poo, that's a bad idea, just like give up, move on. Not necessarily. Like you can go through the process and go, maybe they're like that isn't the pain point or whatever, but as a result, like you were just talking about with that 75-year-old Jen, it's like you can pivot, right? So as long as you have the mindset of like not being like tunnel vision, it's like it's either this or nothing, and you can be flexible and accepting of like the fact that that wasn't validated, but there is something still there.
I've said to people in the past, you should practice Buddhist non-attachment to your idea.
Yeah, nice.
Your idea will change. It will, whether you like it or not. But because people get so tunnel visioned on that idea. But even, so what I just said then, an internal process that I have in my own business does not need an app. Does not need an outside thing for people to come in and buy because it's not doing the thing that's on the box, right? And I've said this to this person and they're like, oh, well, no, this is what we've built it for. And she didn't interview her customer. Now she's gone and built an AI version of this thing. And I'm just like, I don't need it for that.
Yeah.
I need it for this other thing. And you've completely missed the other thing that I've said, which is a potential market.
Yeah.
And so as a result, she's going to lose me as a customer. And the thing is I'm willing to invest in that app development internally in my business because it'll save me time. And if it saves me time, it saves me money.
Yep.
Right? So that value exchange, it doesn't necessarily need to be a commercial thing that you're selling. It could just be a thing that you're building internally for your business to save you time.
100%. Well, I think if anyone's watching, if you're not convinced yet to go through the validation process, you should be.
I mean, there will be people who will watch this 100% that will go, oh, my idea is the best idea. It's the bestest. Yeah. I'm definitely going to spend money on app development. I'm mortgaging my home for my idea, and that horrifies me. Like, it horrifies me that people are going to mortgage their homes for their stupid idea that they didn't go and validate. And then they end up homeless. And I've met people where that has happened. They ended up homeless and they ended up not having a roof over their head, living out of a caravan because they spent $250,000 on an app development.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it breaks my heart because their ego gets in the way and their boneheaded bias.
Yeah, it's real. We're all capable of it.
I'd rather people get upset at me, be mad at me, fucking hate me as much as you want. Hate me as much as you want. Just don't, for the love of God, mortgage your home for your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is so, the idea around that you having, like, it is very scary. It is terrifying to hear that someone would go, oh yeah, I'm going to add on an additional $100,000, $200,000 to my mortgage, to my home loan, to fund my business idea. It's like, whoa, okay. No. Don't even if you have validated, like, even from my opinion, even if you validated your idea and you've gone, okay, it is a good idea, or you've pivoted or something like that, and you go, yes, I have a legitimate
so much can go
here.
wrong, right?
It can.
It's not just in the development side of things. It's not just in the marketing side of things. You could just have picked the wrong business partner.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
You could just have the wrong team member. You could have one narcissist in your business, and that'll fuck up your whole thing. It'll blow it up.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so much risk. It's too much risk.
Huge risk.
If only there was a financial literacy app that could tell us not to.
Nice. Subtle, Jordan. I like it.
That was a joke. No one go develop that.
Don't do it. No one will buy
it. Go back to the 15-minute mark, roughly, where it would have been, and we'll
so many. But like 100%. Now we've got people who are, and I kind of love but also hate at the same time that they've gone down this rabbit hole of vibe coding. Even, like they're co-owning their business with their AI chatbot from ChatGPT, where, ChatGPT's come up with half a bunch of nonsense things and said, yeah, this is great. It's so fantastic, Steve. You should absolutely invest in this. I believe in you.
That's definitely got potential.
Your wife, your family, your kids, your financial advisor have all said no, but I think your idea is awesome. Like,
and I'm powered by the internet.
I'm powered by the internet. I know everything. That's why flat earthers exist. Vibe coding has a good and a bad side to it. One is, if you do not know what you are doing and you go into vibe coding, you are building a stack of features that nobody's going to sign up to because they're going to get overwhelmed by decision fatigue. Right? And the vibe coding does not know how to determine that. Hey, Steve, I think you've got a few too many features. Maybe dial it back to 3.
Said no AI ever.
Said no AI ever. Right?
Let's add more. 5. Let's go more. 10.
I think that's a great idea, Steve. Poor Steve. I'm picking on the Steve. So it's for somebody that has gone through the lean canvas process, and does know that they're biased, does know that their idea is stupid, does know, and assume, they go in assuming. And I've met people who've assumed my idea is stupid. I need you to prove to me it is stupid so I don't end up spending $20,000. And you can kind of sort of start to do that with vibe code, but that's not a perfect system either. It doesn't necessarily actually do it. It will make a pretty thing. I've tried a few where they've made a pretty thing. It looks pretty and it says all the right words, doesn't have any function at all.
Yeah.
Doesn't do the thing that I said on the box. Right? And if you don't know how to code and you're vibe coding, yeah, like forget about it. You don't know what you're doing. You're just gonna hand over your entire life savings to a bot?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Do better.
I love the vibe coders. They fill me with joy, you know. I love it when they try and then
this is hard. They come back to you and go, oh, this is hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't fix the thing. I put the code into ChatGPT and ChatGPT didn't tell me what was wrong with it. I put it in Claude and Claude got a little bit further, but it's still not doing the thing that I want it to do, or it's got this really annoying feature and I can't get rid of the pop-up. James, how do I get rid of the pop-up?
I press the button and nothing happens.
That's how you start.
Burn it down to the ground. Start again.
Yeah. I would say vibe coding is great for prototypes, like to get a look and a feel. You know, you're like, oh yeah, I like how this is styled. But
I look at vibe coding. I look at vibe coding as the Wix and Weebly of websites. Right.
At some point you have to graduate.
That's good.
At some point. At some point you have to graduate to a real live eating, sleeping, breathing human being who knows how to build websites.
Poor Wix, it tries so hard.
I know it does.
and like AI, it's like it has the ability to look pretty. But
looks nice.
But
packaging looks awesome.
Yeah. You can have a really nice looking car on the outside, but if the engine underneath is not working, then
if it's rusting underneath the paint, probably not going to last long. The engine might fall out.
Why is my engine a potato?
So like the vibe, I think there is a place for vibe code to do a quick sort of modeling of your idea. But again, that validation piece is so important.
Yes. And if there's almost inevitably, right? And but also like there's a few like key pointers to take away from this. One's definitely don't ask AI to validate.
You can use AI to ideate.
Yes.
Not validate.
Not validate. Because it will be valid 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. It wants you to come back. So it's going to be like, we love your idea.
Ask real people, because real people are the ones that are going to pay for it and use it, right?
Strangers. Ask strangers.
You can ask
strangers. Because strangers don't care about your feelings.
Which is what you want. You want brutal.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but you can use AI to be like, hey, is there anyone, based on my idea, is there anyone else who's doing this in the market? You know, and again, as Ming said earlier, you know, competition is part of validation. If someone else is already doing it, don't take that as like, oh, I can't do this because they've already got the market.
It's not original. It's not an original idea. There's no such thing.
A lot of business owners, like I know a lot of entrepreneurs, actually a good majority of entrepreneurs, just look at something that's already successful and they're just like, I'm just going to do it slightly better, and they
100%.
It goes wild, you know. They'll make heaps and heaps and heaps of money. You just need to take, you know, and if that's where people want to start, that's totally fine. Take an idea that already exists, tweak it a little bit so that it is better. So that it is better in some way. Don't make something worse.
But even then, go through the process of validation.
Yeah.
Is it better, or is it just more aesthetically pleasing?
Yeah. But aesthetically pleasing might be better. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the UI sucks.
Fair.
Just
That's
don't
fair.
copy Storia or Marketing Jumpstart. Just don't do it, guys.
Oh no, go for it. I'd like to see you try. I would like to see you try. Go on.
You know,
I dare anyone.
I love talking to people who are like, I'd love to start a business in software development, and I'm like, why? Why do you want to do that?
Don't be
Oh,
a
I want to
downer,
build
James.
products. Why? Don't you know?
Have you met people?
Pardon?
Have you met people? Should be the question. Have you met people?
It's a hard field to go and be successful. Like, you know, we've survived 5 years building and developing systems and products. You know, but not a lot do. Like, I know a lot of guys who start a software development company and they have failed after 12 months. Like, and it is a hard space to be in. And because one of the big things is they build a product for someone, that product fails and they get blamed for it.
Yeah. Hell no.
No, so that's why you got to be ruthless.
Yeah.
You can't just go after the money, which I have done. I learned the hard way, and I got lucky by having a way out through planning. But you know, it's touch and go for a lot of people in that space. So don't take the risk. Don't take the risk.
Well,
Don't be the scapegoat.
Is people go into business quite dewy-eyed, even in marketing, right? They go, well, you know, throw a rock and you'll hit a marketer. And they're like, over the 15 years that I've been in business doing this, I've seen some very, very large agencies all collapse and all fail because the internet changed. The tool sets changed. The tech changed. The narrative changed.
Yeah.
You know, people were like, oh, it's a really hard, expensive thing to do a website. Okay. All right. What if it wasn't? Okay, now it's not. Okay, then what's the actual specialty now?
You have to go beyond. So,
you know, when I say Marketing Jumpstart solves the problem of time, please, anybody, any competitor, go, please start. There's so much work. There's so much work, and like James knows this, and we all work together, and sometimes we cross paths and do similar things, and you know, we've got technically competitors who are actually more industry partners than anything, because we're like, are you busy? No, you want to do this project over here? I don't want to do it. Don't want to. There's so much work. Once you figure out the problem that you're actually solving, you're inundated. Like right now, we're in a tough economic climate where people are freaking out about the cost of petrol, interest rates are increasing, they're overwhelmed, they're looking for an exit strategy from their shitty job because they're over it. But now they're feeling imprisoned in their shitty job because if they leave, they might not get another one. And they're looking for exits. They're looking for an app. They're looking for a business idea. They're looking for a side hustle. The unethical companies will charge them a small GDP of a small island to start their business, right? You know, and I've been in the space where I've educated people more than we do. Like as in doing the thing. I'd rather educate the business owner, because then you're going to value my time. Right? You're going to value the thing that I offer and the thing that I do if you know how much work it takes. It's always hysterical. Anytime I have a client that goes, I'm going to do my own social media, I'm like, okay.
See you in 3 months.
See you in 3 months. Yeah. When you haven't updated a single status update on your social media platforms for the last 3 months. Yeah. Cool story. How about I teach you my processes? Okay, all right, I'll teach them. Maybe they'll get like 1 post out a week on a good day, right?
Yeah.
If all they were doing was exclusively marketing, I'd be worried. Because if you are doing all of that perfectly and wonderfully and all of that, what are you doing for your customers? How are you doing the work bit? Right?
For sure.
You only got 24 hours a day. You can't work all of them. I've tried.
You might be able to
Don't
do it for a
recommend it.
short period of time, but
Yeah, don't recommend it. It's not good
Call
for
it
your
not
Right.
kids.
sustainable. All right. We're starting to go down these tangents like we do.
Yeah,
Pull me
yeah,
back,
yeah.
Jordan.
Drift
pull me
back, everyone. Come on, come back.
All right.
All right, let's come to the closing part. Is there anything to go back to the original topic of validation? Is there anything you guys want to sign off with? Something super important or
I'm just going
anything?
to say no amount of marketing, and I mean this, no amount of marketing, even the greatest marketer on the planet, will not make your shitty idea that hasn't been validated succeed. It
Yeah.
will only make it fail faster. Right?
Nice.
That's it.
Well said.
Well,
James?
I'm gonna come at it from an opposite angle. I'm gonna say, don't be scared. Like, I know there's been a bit of doom talk from what we've discussed, but don't be afraid to start, right? But you just start right.
Yeah.
Start with the right thing. So
Do it properly.
yeah, do it properly. Talk to the sales people, talk to the marketing people, talk to your legal team, whoever, but follow that right step. Validate it.
And that doesn't
Validate your
mean that
idea.
you're not going to make mistakes. It's okay to
No.
make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's definitely going to happen. I don't think, like, my entire 15 years of business, I still make mistakes, right? But I also still make money.
Yeah.
So you can still make mistakes and succeed in business.
That's right. And there'll be times where it's hard. Like, especially, people will launch. You may have a really great idea. You've executed well. You've done your marketing. You launch. You get no customers. That's okay. Keep at it. Try. Keep trying. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it's a bit of trust building. They need to see your social media active for like a few months, and they go, "Oh, maybe this actually isn't so bad."
Well, you've
yeah.
experienced that. That's been a part of your experience as well with the content marketing and the getting the messaging right and getting the branding right and
100%. You just gotta you keep trying, give it a go. As long as making a mistake is okay, making an expensive mistake is the problem, right? You just make sure that you're investing what you have to invest, and keep it minimal to the absolute. Even if you're working on a large project and you're working on a dev and it's like $100,000. Break that down into small payments. As work with your developer to come up with a payment plan so you can succeed, right?
Yeah.
Don't drain your coffers. Be prepared to stop, right? Come up with your MVP.
It's also worth pointing out that development never stops. Neither does marketing, right?
Yeah.
Development and marketing never stop.
No.
Because you're always going to be doing a version 2, a version 3. You're always going to be split testing a new audience.
Yeah, that's right. Just come up with the thing that meets the market as quickly as humanly possible. Your MVP, your 1%.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hit your 1%, and then you'll start to build traction, and it will start to work.
Well said. And I like the two different angles that come from. That was good.
Awesome.
Ming, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
4. I have a feeling, and I'm hopeful that this won't be the last one you'll join us on. So look forward to the next one.
Twist my arm.
James, thank you as well, and for all your wisdom. And thank you to everyone who's watching it. If you've made it this far again, thanks. And we'll see you for episode 5, because there will definitely be one the way this is going.
Yeah, we're keeping it rolling. Let's go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.